There's a world full of mercy and peace, waiting for me. There's a land for the lost and the least, where they dine with the king, waiting for me. Yeah, His holiness fills up the temple. Still He took my sin and my shame. I didn't deserve to be rescued. Still He has called me by name. I'll stand firm with confidence till He comes again. Till He comes again. I'll keep my mind stayed on Him to the very end. To the very end. Yeah. Stayed on Him. Stayed on Him. In my mind. Stayed on Him. Stayed on Him. In my mind. Stayed on Him. Stayed on Him.
Okay. So there's a couple things we're going to be just hanging around, hanging out, trying to figure stuff out. One of the advantages of being an entrepreneur, a business owner, a CEO of your own company, is that you get to determine whether something's worth doing or whether something's not worth doing, whether something's worth your time. One of the disadvantages is you don't have certainty that other people will pay you, but you have the opportunity to create and capture value in the way that you find is suitable for your skill set. Something that we've been trying to do is evolve our skill set and grow mathematically. And we've been learning all kinds of interesting techniques, and I'm excited to attempt to use them in the analysis of two different things. So I don't want this to be seen as a tutorial video. This is more of a having fun using what we've learned and recording it so I can laugh at myself or learn from my mistakes and review. I'm also hoping to get some valuable insights, and maybe I might forget because I do a lot of things. I do a lot of learning, for example, and it can be difficult to remember. Like I might actually stumble upon a genius technique or algorithm or method and then forget, wait, what did I do exactly? Okay, so we're looking at Legends of Runeterra right now, and of all the card games I've been playing over the years, this is the game that I feel the most frustration at and the most difficulty in terms of doing well. And I've decided, well, maybe it's a good idea to use some extra thinking to try to figure out the game. So the hypothesis is 80% of the decks that we've faced, and I'm writing on my own notebook. I'm writing on my own notebook, so not everything's on screen. Screen is to guide me. 80% of the decks we're facing are aggro. I would say that I've lost most games to aggro decks. So I lose aggro decks. And I realized that creatures are actually better than spells. So in Legends of Runeterra you have units. You have units, spells, and landmarks. And creatures are clearly greater than. So I'm gonna make it right there. We're gonna try to see if we can actually get some. Trying to create a framework. So 80% of games are verse aggro. I would actually say, and I would define aggro. Aggro is equals winning by T6, turn 6. I would actually say that 80% plus of Chris's games are first aggro. Okay, wonderful. Right. And in Runeterra, units are better than spells for the same cost. They're just a 7-costed unit is better than a 7-costed spell. If you don't believe me, we just look at stayed on my mind. So if you look at what a 7-costed unit is, Rekindler. Alright. Rekindler, for example, when I'm summoned, revive the strongest dead champion. Vengeance, one of the strongest spells, kills a unit. So this creates 2 units. So Vengeance cannot even answer Rekindler. Like, Rekindler brings back a champion. And if that champion has a summon effect, like Mr. No. If it has a summon effect, even if you killed him, he's still going to get his ability off. So if you, in this case, Trundle, if you killed a Trundle with a Vengeance, not only are you taking 2 mana deficit, you're not answering the 4/4 body, and you're actually leaving, he gets an Ice Pillar on all of that. So, and I think part of our analysis already, from our limited analysis, is Chris relies way too much on spells. Alright? If you go first, you attack on odd turns. If you go second, you can attack on even turns. This is something that makes Runeterra kind of weird. And I gotta be honest, there are a lot of times that I can't even attack on the turns that I want to attack, and there are times like that's a major issue. So we're gonna make note of that. Okay. Let's call this. Why does Chris lose so much in Runeterra? Alright, let's do that. And we're going to say, the question is, analyze run drops. I stand from to the very end. Here. So if we look at that, going odd aggro equals attack T1, T3, T5. Going even aggro equals attack T2, T4, T6. So if we just look at our spell density on like the last deck we played, we'll see. Let's see. All right, actually that's even. Mind stay on, stay on, keep my mind. So if I just take one of my favorite decks, Frosty Mountain, and we just look at our curve for a second. Okay, that is our favorite deck. Is it going to do well? Who reigns, I know. God who saves, no. So, if we just look at this. Change, I know, no. God who reigns, I know. God who saves. I know. Let's see if we can notice something weird or bad. Hey, keep my mind stay. So let's say these cards are playable. Keep my mind stay. Stay. Keep my mind stay. So let's say that you're against aggro deck, and we're going to oversimplify this. Let's say the game is going to end on turn 6. Well, that means you could play these cards, and then you're dead, so you can't play these cards in general. Now there's definitely more nuance to that picture. And then when we look at this number, I am seeing a absolutely large density of spells. So there is a, say there's a density of 25 out of 40 cards equals spell density. That's not going to be good. Let's use our calculator. 25 divided by 40. That's a 62.5%. Who made this deck? Me. 62.5% of this deck is spells? Bruh. Okay. And then we... It's a fun deck. This deck has some amazing wins, but we're using this as an exercise to have a better understanding of risk, better understanding of how to analyze something that we care about quantitatively. And we're just saying, wow, like, we have that empirical, no joke, we have the empirical observation that creatures are better, units are better than spells. And we still played with a deck that had 6, I didn't even realize the density. And I think it's because in other games, there are a couple of things that make this game fundamentally different. So let's just like start. Let's just start. Let's start highlighting which ones are spells. Keep my mind, stay on, stay on. Keep my mind, stay. And we're going to use this deck as a benchmark, because this is our technically who reigns, I know. It's your boy Leckety Leck Leck playing those 12 drops. You know 12 drops. So that's a lot of red. That's a lot of red. Be my mind state. Did you notice, based off of our analysis, the creature count is appalling. Keep my mind still. I know. And now if we use another way of looking at it, so let's say, let's call this so we do some consistency in our thinking. I think I've wanted to do this for a long time, but I've not found the time to do it. Be in peace. Feels good. So the spell density is terrible. Let's look at the unit density. Well, there's 1, 2. Oh, it actually counts champions. So champions count in the unit cost. Yeah. From his confidence. I stand firm. So basically half, because 12 times 2 is 24. So basically half. I will actually make this black so you cannot see this. Because these are just repeated cards. Keep my mind stayed on you, stay. With keep it on him very end. So now we're going to reanalyze it in terms of playability. So this is waves. I know you're the God who saves. No, I know I don't make the prettiest, so yeah. I would love to learn more about graphic design and how to make things look beautiful, but sometimes you just gotta go with the flow, man. So if we just look at that version, just looking at the playability, X less than mine stayed on it, stayed on. I was thinking to find a better way to do equations when writing on turn X less than or equal to turn 6. Keep my mind. I was going to do greater than, but just do unplayable. It's just as good. And then we shape outline. You're the God who reigns. I know. You're the God who saves. I know. You're the one who called my name. Wow. So when we see this, actually this should be a percentage again. Waiting for me. The fastest way to calculate this would be to first calculate the unplayable. 9, because this is 10. 7. 40 minus 10 equals 3. So it goes twice. Stand firm with confidence. I stand firm, hit on him. So 25% of the deck is just straight up unplayable. So if we use the same analytical apology, let's make sure everything's... Oh, it's not recording. On stream, let's check. On YouTube, we're doing great. 22 March. So we're gonna start recording on my computer because I wasn't. So we're trying to come up. So let's limit this to turn 2. So this is turn 2. And your red pushes up. You're the one who saves, I know. So we'll say that we are also losing with a lot of cards in hand, which I need to look at the card draw. So in Runeterra, that's Max. Max hand. Card. In peace, waiting for me up. So we're not actually certain of all the data that we have. Temple, we know this is pretty bad. This is 9. stayed on him. So we got a 22.5% chance. 22.5. So basically, 77.5% of my deck is not playable on turn 2. And then I stand firm, stayed on him, very end. I got target speed. So high spell density, low unit density. So our insight is, I should really change this color. Yellow seems like a very bold color. So the insight here is 25%. So we're 77.5. So this all begs the question of are we floating mana? Are we attacking with the attack token? Are we missing with the attack token? And so something tells me even versus odd turns, which is better? Going first or going second? Which one? Right, something. So if we use the same technique and we basically go to turn 3, phone call.
the God who reigns, I know. You're the God who saves, I know. That you walk on waves, I know. That you never change, I know. You're the God who reigns, I know. You're the God who saves. Yes, you walk on waves, I know. I know that. Won't you stay, won't you stay, won't you stay on my mind? Oh, da, 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 yeah. Stay, yeah. I know I will keep my mind. Yeah, I know I will keep my mind. Yeah, I know I will keep my mind. Yeah, I know, I know.
Okay, so we're continuing our analysis. I know I just started on my recording, so I actually am streaming longer than my recording, but so far, these are some of the facts that we've collected on Runeterra. We're trying to understand why do we lose so much. This is interesting. Valuation. This is a valuation problem. We have a possible solution. Solution is a comparison algorithm. So basically, we look at Twisted Fate, Fizz. That's scary. Look at the scariest two decks. Scariest decks. Twisted Fate, Fizz. Maybe even looking at Lysandra, Trundle. This isn't that scary, but it's one of my fun decks that I can play. And then how about Azir plus Azir Ephemeral. One-Rick. Okay. I really enjoy valuation. I'm not that. I remember when I first started learning about valuation, both financially and card games. It was not very sophisticated and I was not very good. But that didn't stop me from being excited about valuation problems. And so comparison algorithms pretty good. We could also use solution, average, so best case scenario, average case scenario, worst case scenario, and we're kind of using, and we're actually using another, benchmarking using known parameters like frosty. We're using this deck as kind of like as a test case. Okay. And we're looking at T3 unplayable, so T3 actually adds a little bit more to the mix. So T3 playable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. Score 44. 45%. Gone away. 49, 18.